to this live training. My name is Ray Brown, and I'm a weight loss coach, and I'm super excited for you guys be here with me today. I'm super excited to have this live training. And today we will be diving into the topic of how do we celebrate the festive season without gaining weight? How do we celebrate the festive season, making sure that we're not gaining weight? Because the festive season can be a time where there's loads of entertainment, there's loads of food, you'll be seeing people that you haven't seen for a while. So there's lots going on from a celebration standpoint. So we want to make sure that we equip ourselves to deal with this thing. We want to make sure that we equip ourselves to deal with this at all costs. So I'll just share a quick little bit about my backstory, who I am. I'm a weight loss coach. So when I first started optimize my health in 2015, right, I was going through a stressful time, and everyone that, like me, took the gym. I went to the gym because I was trying to outrun my stress. I looked good on the outside. I wanted to look good. I wanted to have muscles. I wanted to have a six pack. I wanted to look lean, right? I just wanted to have a good body because I was in a place at the time was not good. I could remember even I joined the running club at one point because I just really wanted to look fit. And to be fair, I did. And I literally would do this for about 6 or 7 months. All day, I would get up 4 o'clock in the morning and I would go to the gym, right? And I would train for an hour, and then I would drive to work 30 miles. Then I would work for 12 hours and then rinse, wash, and repeat. I literally was doing this for about 6 or 7 months. And I remember waking up one morning with these huge rashes all over my head. And literally, these big, huge rashes, ugly rashes. And I got scared for a minute, right? And like we all do, surprised. Anyway, went to the doctor. They had a look. The doctor basically said I had food poisoning and I needed to drink more water. I was shocked, right? Because I was exercising. I think I was drinking a lot of water. I was eating somewhat healthy. I had muscles. I was fasting. I had six pack. And that's when the realization hit me. I could do all the things. I could fast, I could exercise, I could try to eat a good diet, but it's only when I needed start focusing on my nutrition that everything changed, right? It wasn't the six pack, it wasn't the abs, it wasn't the exercise, it wasn't going to the gym. It was what I was putting in my gut on a daily basis that had the biggest impact on my life. And that's when everything changed for me. When I start focusing on what I was eating. And if I'm consulting, if I'm working with a client, if I'm speaking, I'm always talking about nutrition because that's the fundamental part of everything. Whether you're trying to lose weight, whatever goal you're trying to achieve in life from a health standpoint, even if it's not health standpoint, you must look at your nutrition because that's where everything begins. The nutrition is where everything begins. And this is why has led me on this journey. I'm so passionate about health and trying to encourage people to want to know more about their health, to do things that will optimize their health and making sure that they're on the right track. And look, if your health isn't working, if you can't lose weight, if you've lost weight and gain it back, if you don't know where to start, look at what you're eating. Focus on nutrition. That's where it starts, and everything else comes after that. Not saying no exercise, not saying no fasting, I'm not saying no build muscles, but the fundamental has to be your nutrition. The fundamental has to be your nutrition. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, Ren, I hear you. But every year at this time during the year, I put weight on. It's Christmas, there's foods everywhere, there's parties, there's drinks. I'm going to be seeing people that I haven't seen before. I'm excited. Here's what I want to tell you. I don't want you to think about the past because you can't change the past. The past is the past. Here's how I want you to think about it. In the past, this is what you've done. This is what you've done in the past. But this year, you decide that it's going to be different. Because you decide, right? You decide that this year will be different. The past is the past. We know it may have happened in previous years, but this year I want you to decide, right? All that requires is for you to decide, then make a plan for how it will be different this season. this time of the year. Once you decide, you make a plan for how things will be different. This is what this training is about. Hope you to make a plan, a guide for how this Christmas season, this festive season, with the celebration will be different from all the other seasons that you've had. Because the holidays for some people can be a minefield, right? There's an environment that you're not used to every day. It's an environment where only comes around once a year, and we want to celebrate. We want to let our hair down, so to speak. So we must have a plan. We must go into the holiday structured plan for how we will deal with it. If we want to come start of January, we're not behind the eight ball. We're not overweight. We're not further down the road than we wanted to. And look, when this time comes around, it doesn't matter how disciplined you are. Like, I want to share with you a story that happened to me, and I thought I was a disciplined person. But because you don't have a plan, you get fall into the trap. Because the last thing you want to do is, when you're in the motion, when you're in the moment, you're deciding what to say no to, what to drink, what not to drink, right? So it's important that we have a plan. Decide to have a plan. But the good news is, you get to decide this year. Like I said, you get to decide this year. In fact, I want to encourage you to embrace the idea of deciding what you want. I'm going to say that again. I want to encourage you to embrace the idea to decide what you want. Make a decision. That's right. This webinar, this training is about choosing to decide. And because your power really is in your decision, the tiny micro decisions that you make every day, or the big ones, whatever, that's where your power lies. So I want to consider this, the next 30 minutes or so, sort of a mini strategy and help you to make a decision and how you will deal with this festive season the way you want. Show up powerfully. So come January, like I said before, you're not behind the eight ball. So I'm just going to go a quick overview. Just a quick one, guys. If you can hear me, just put a thumbs up in the chat, please. If you can hear me, please just put a thumbs up if you can hear me in the chat. So I'm just going to go over a quick overview of what I'll be covering over the next 30 minutes or so. I'm going to be walking you through how to make a decision ahead of time, how to decide ahead of time, how to decide before you get into the Christmas season, so you know what the plan is, how to make a plan to navigate through the festive season, right? You decide, and how you make that plan, how you put that plan together to make sure that it's effective and it serves you the way you want. How to say no without feeling that you've been rude, right? That's something that we struggle to do. Say no to people. You don't want to hear the word no, or you don't want to say no. How to talk to people who are forcing food on you. We've got the food pushers. The food pushers, just have one taste. It tastes nice. It's not going to kill you. Those people, how do you deal with those people? How to not feel guilty if you have had something that's not part of your plan. Because a lot of us have the idea that if I eat this, it's bad, and I'll feel guilty for it. How to not feel guilty if you had something that's not part of your plan. And at the end, I've created a special offer that I want to share with you for just attending this training. So by the end of this training, you will have a clear roadmap and that to how to navigate the festive season. So you will celebrate the season with your friends and family and loved ones, and you will be proud of yourself come January, that, you know what, I've dealt with the holidays pretty well, and I haven't gained weight. Before we dive in, I'm just going to share a quick story with you that I think may resonate with you, right? And how I was in the same spot a year ago. Last year, my last Christmas at the family gathering, right? Our family made what they call a Jamaican fried pastry dish. It's a Jamaican fried pastry dish. And one of my rule of thumb is I do not eat fried foods, right? I stay away from fried foods at all costs. Why? Because when I eat it, it gives me indigestion or digestive issues 2 hours, an hour later. And she was like, do you want one? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Fried food ain't my thing. And she's like, oh, it's nice. You can have one. I've been up all morning trying to prepare it. It's my first go at trying to make these. Everyone is telling me that they're nice. Please have one. And to be fair, I feel like eating it because I didn't want her to feel bad. I wanted to sort of make her feelings feel good, right? I didn't want to hurt her feelings, if you will. And the pressure of being in that environment, in and around all the people that was there, and the emotions, the celebration, and just seeing some people that I haven't seen for a while. And it was extremely hard to say no. However, I've had one. Yeah, took one, had it. It tastes nice, but guess what? After I had a gut issue, right? I had serious indigestion. And that all because I didn't plan. I just went there and think when I go there, I'm going to deal with the moment. I'm going to be able to say no to this food and be able to keep people off, right? And this is the thing, we must have a plan. If we are going into a season of life where it's so difficult, it's important that we have a plan. So if you're sitting here and thinking that I can't because of what happened in the past, this is what has happened in the past, or I don't want to say no because people are going to think I'm rude. Here's what I want you to do. Take that thought or that thinking of that belief and throw it out the window. Because I don't want you to end the holidays feeling like you've let yourself down or you've had foods that you didn't want to eat. It wasn't part of your plan and feel like how I felt a year ago. I don't want that for you. Remember, every weight loss success starts with deciding. Once you decide, you make a plan and go out and commit to following through that plan to make your decision a reality. The key is to decide and just following through on your commitment to decide. I hope you guys are loving it so far. If you're loving it, please drop a thumbs up in the chat so I can see that you can hear me, you're understanding, and you're enjoying what I'm sharing. So again, the key in this training is to decide on what you want this festive season to be like. So come January, you're not behind the 8 ball, or you haven't gained more weight that you wanted, or you're not further down the road on your weight loss journey. All the good work that you've done throughout the year hasn't been lost over the festive season. Also, I'll be doing a Q&A at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, if you have any questions about what I've just shared and you want to know more, please drop them in the chat and we go through the Q&A after the session. Okay, are we ready? Let's dive in. Let's go. So I'm just going to dive into some of the unconscious beliefs and the unconscious beliefs, the unconscious behavior of why this festive season is so difficult for most people, right? Why the festive season is so difficult for most people. And come January, a lot of us are behind the 8 ball. A lot of us have a sore head. A lot of us are telling ourselves that we let ourselves down. We drink too much, we eat too much, or we eat too much of whatever it is, or we indulge too much, if you will. So I'm just going to look at some of the unconscious belief. The first one is the guilt of not wanting to disrupt during that time. There's a guilt that we have. I don't want to disrupt. I don't want to come across as rude. I don't want to think people to think I'm better than them. I don't want people to know I'm on a diet. I worked with a client before that didn't want anyone to know she was on a diet, right? I don't want to feel isolated, right? I don't want to think people think negatively of me. And what happened is we get caught up in this thinking that they have put hard work in to prepare the food. It's expensive. I don't want to waste it. It's just Christmas. It's just this one time. And to be fair, a lot of times this thinking is just being created in our own selves. Because if I say no to someone, a lot of times that person won't even remember that we said no, right? It's just our own beliefs. We don't want to be the one who say no to this thing. So the reason we make the holidays so hard is the guilt that we put on ourselves, right? For not wanting to disrupt, not wanting to upset people. And to be fair, look, when you say no, some people will be upset because that's just life. But here's what I want to tell you. You've got to stop eating to please people. You've got to learn to tell people, no, I don't need to eat the food to show you that I love you. I don't need to eat the food to show you that I appreciate you or you have done well, right? And look, it's going to take some guts to do this, right? It's going to take some guts to do this. But if you don't, you're going to go home like I did and feel guilty, have a digestive issue, right? Why? Because you were eating foods, not foods that you want, but the foods to please somebody. You had to eat something because you wanted to please somebody. And that's what it is. We cause so much guilt on our own selves because we don't want to upset anyone. It's why I'm going to drive this home. We must have a plan, an idea when we're approaching this phase of the season. So that's the first one, the guilt of not wanting to disrupt during that time. Number two, this is the only time I get to enjoy myself. This is the only time I get to treat myself. That's the second one. Most of us, including me, we have a rule for what we eat or from a food standpoint, right? So At this time of the year, you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna let my hair down. At this time of the year, all the rules are broken, right? So we have this idea in our heads that I'm gonna treat myself. The big problem with this is, and this is from personal experience, the big problem with this is we have the idea of good and bad foods. In our heads, we have the idea that if we eat this food, we're bad, and if we eat this food, we're good. So in the moment, if you eat that food, you consider yourself bad, right? And there's a guilt and a shame that comes with doing bad things, right? If you do something that you think is bad, if you have any conscience, a lot of times you won't feel good. And this, it's an unconscious belief, but it's real. Here's what I want to tell you. There's nothing wrong with eating foods that are considered bad or foods that are considered not good for the goals that you are trying to achieve. Because the problem isn't because you've had the food just now or the one time you had the food. The real problem is what you've been doing for the 365 days of the year leading up to this festive season. What have you been eating? That's the problem, right? The foods that you've been overeating on during the year is the big problem. And those are the things that you want to manage and understand. And one of the principles I teach in my weight loss coaching program is you must be flexible with your nutrition. Don't be very legalistic around foods. You must have time and periods that you eat foods that you enjoy, that are not considered healthy, but you enjoy them and you eat them without feeling as if you're doing something bad or you're ashamed of eating the thing, right? So during the holidays, like now, for example, when the holidays come, if you have that food, you don't beat yourself up because it's not like you are restricting yourself. You understand that these foods are part of what you want to do, but just manage how you eat the foods, right? Because as I said to you before, it's not the one time you had the food that causes you to gain weight. It's the days that you've been eating, the 365 days of the year leading up to Christmas, what you've been doing, what have you been eating? That is the real problem. So that's number two. I remember I worked with a client recently who had a problem around chocolates and sweets. Whenever she was around chocolates and sweets, she got out of control. And we had some dialogue, some investigation. And what we came up with, she had the idea of good and bad foods, like what I just talked. She had the idea of good and bad foods. Whenever she had chocolate, she blamed herself for eating the chocolate. I'm bad, I'm naughty. So now, whenever she goes out and the bean around chocolate, if she eat the chocolate, once you start eating one chocolate, it's like a domino effect. 3 or 4, 5, 6 is gone. And then she go home and feels super guilty for eating the thing because she considered the food bad in the first place. So a lot of times it's just exposing these unconscious beliefs that we have about good and bad food. A lot of times when we go on a diet, that's what the diet world teaches us a lot of times, that there's good food and bad food. I'm not saying they're wrong, but that beliefs will trigger you to binge a lot of times. Or if you eat the food to feel guilty, why should I eat something and feel guilty about it? That is not a good way to behave. That's not a good behavior. That behavior is not necessarily good for your own psyche. So that's two. This is the only time I get to treat myself. Number three, the belief that I can't lose weight during this season. The belief that during the holidays, nope, I can't lose weight. Because there's foods, there's parties, there's drink ups, there's people, there's emotions. I'm going to be seeing some family members that I haven't seen for a while. There's excitement. The first thing I want you to understand is having the thought that I can't because will literally paralyze you from ever attempting to do anything, not just weight loss, anything in life that you want to achieve. If you have the idea that I can't because, it won't motivate you to find a solution. So that's the first thing. We must understand that thought does not serve us whatsoever. Here's a very important thing that I want to share with you. If you want to lose weight and keep it off forever, you have to be able to lose weight in a difficult season. Like this season, the festive season. If you can lose weight in the festive season, it's the best time to lose weight. Because this is where a lot of people get caught up in the trap. I need to wait on the perfect scenario. I need to wait on the right time, the perfect time. Last week, I had a consultation with a client, and he told me that before he joined the program, he had to get his mind in the right place. And I asked him, what does that look like? Are you going to take your mind out of your head and put it down and turn it around and then, yeah, it's in the right place now, put it back and go. No, you're going to continue to live your life, right? And it doesn't matter what happens, you will always have challenges in your life. Here's what I offer you. If you continue to wait until the perfect time, if you continue to wait until the right time, till you have time, till you're not working to lose weight, you will never be able to lose it successfully and keep it off. Here's why. Because your life will always present challenges. It will chuck you curveballs at times. It will have problems. It will have all different types of obstacles. And this is where probably most people fail weight loss, because they waited on the perfect time instead of just starting now, right? The festive season, like I said, I think is the best time to lose weight. And my best advice is lose weight when the time is hard, in a season of difficulty, like this season that we have right now. Here's why. If you lose weight, or if you start your weight loss journey in this time of the year, you will get more resourceful, you will make a better decision, you will go out and seek support, right? Because you are resourceful, right? And you will learn so much more about yourself. And when the life gets easier, just imagine you've lost weight during this period of the year, or you come January, you have gained any weight, you maintain your weight, great. When life gets easier, you are in cruise control. Why? Because you've been through the hard times. You've been through the difficult times. You've done the weight loss when it was challenging. And now you're in cruise control. It's why I say to a lot of people, don't wait. Don't wait until the perfect moment. The best time to start is when it's difficult, because you will get more resourceful. You will search for the solutions. You will find the answer to the problems, because you're doing it in a season of hard. So that's number 3, the belief that I can't lose weight during this season. Step 4, the fear of missing out. The fear I've missed out. For example, let's say you're having dinner with family or friends, and you decide, I'm only going to have salad and a steak. But while you're there, other people are having biscuits, they're having drinks, they're having the dessert, they're having the fries. And you're there thinking to yourself, I can't have what I want. I won't enjoy myself if I don't have the dessert. Right? And this feeling makes a lot of us feel deprived, right? By having the thought that if I don't have the sweet, if I don't have the crisp, if I don't have the drink, I will miss out. And this happens very often, especially around this time of the year when we're having drink cups and people said, oh, you're not having alcohol. Like, no, I'm good. People, oh, you can't enjoy yourself. I won't enjoy myself if I don't have a drink. I won't enjoy myself if I don't have the dessert, right? And it's really a belief that we have. And what I want to share with you is most of the time we're thinking this way, and we're only looking at one side of the story. Here's what I want you to do. Whenever you are thinking of it this way, okay, if I don't drink the drink, I'm going to miss out. I also want you to look or think about the things that you will benefit from not drinking, right? If you drink the drink, for example, if you have the drink, you might not have a good night's sleep. You might wake up the next day feeling crappy. You might have if you have the dessert or the fries, you might have indigestion like I did. Versus if you don't have it, you might have a better night's sleep. You might wake up the next day, you don't have a sore head. You're not in recovery mode all day. You might go home and you don't have indigestion like I did. So the idea that sometimes I think we don't spend enough time thinking about the upsides of not doing something. And I think this is one of the principles of weight loss, right? If you're going to lose weight and keep it off forever, you have to be able to think about the things that you will benefit from if you don't eat the chips, if you do the exercise, if you don't drink the wine, if you go to bed early, right? If you do all these things, the benefits, always focus on the benefits. Because like I say, the person who had the drink, who drink more than one, who had a load of extra food, who have the fries, they're going to feel like crap the next day. Versus you who haven't will wake up feeling refreshed because you'll have a better night's sleep. And most of all, you will feel good about yourself. So focus on the upsides. What's the benefit from not partaking in the thing? What's the benefit from not indulging in whatever is going on, right? What is the benefits? And focus on that, because the more you can focus on the benefit, it makes it easier for you to refuse the thing. But if you're there sitting thinking, I'm going to miss out, can't enjoy myself, focus on the benefits. So that's step 4. That's step 4, the fear of missing out. So now I am going to look at some strategies. I'm going to dive into a few strategies for how you can make sure you enjoy the festive season and maintain your weight, right? And all the good work that you've done throughout the year, come this time of the year, you maintain that result. So come January, you're not behind the 8 ball, or you don't really have to recreate the process again. So I'm going to look at some strategies. The first one, have a plan. Let me repeat, you must have a plan, because we're in a season of difficult. Like I said before, this time of the year is a minefield. This time of the year is not a time of the year that's presented all the while. It's just a period of time where there's loads of parties and drinks. If we don't have a plan for how we will go into this season of life, we will come January where we were going to be all over the place because we didn't have a plan. It's a season of life that is not something that comes around often. It's a rare one time a year, and there's food. I promise you, there's food and drinks everywhere. You must have a plan. Here's what you need to do. You need to have a plan for what foods you will eat and what you won't eat. What you will say no to. When those people come to you and say, "Oh, please have one, it tastes nice, I've worked hard all day," what are you going to say to that person when they come? You have to have a plan, right? Okay? You must have a plan. What amount you would eat, right? Are you going to have 1 plate or 2 plates? How many drinks are you going to have? 1 drink or 2 drinks? And you look, you can literally write a plan in your phone for 5 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time. Or you could have it in your head. I would say write it out so you know what you say, right? You can also call the person. If you know someone is having a dinner party and you're going there, you could call them and tell them, look, I want to have a good time. Here's some foods that I want to eat. Why? Because I'm optimizing my health, I'm on a diet, whatever it is. Well, explain to them what you're on. So when you go there and they're offering you, you say, look, I don't want that. Nobody gets upset. And you, on the other hand, don't feel guilty. Again, for example, I'm going on holiday. If you're going to, I want to enjoy myself over the holiday, but here are some things that I don't want to eat, right? Here are some things that are not part of my plan. Here are some things that if I eat these things, I'm going down a slippery slope. And come January, I'm going to put the weight on. For example, I worked with a client before that he did some great work during the week. And on the weekend, he would go and eat a pack of digestive biscuits. Guess what? Come Monday, he put most of the weight back on. This is why I'm saying that it's important that we have a plan, because sometimes 1 or 2 meals can push us back right into the direction where we're coming from. And that's not what we want. So that's step 1. Have a plan. Write a plan out. Have a mini plan. So you go, you know how you talk to people, you know what you eat, what you say yes to, what you say no to. Have a plan. Step 2, have people to reach out to support you and hold you accountable. Have some support system that will hold you accountable. For example, one of my clients currently is going back home for holidays, and we sat down, we structured a plan for what he's going to do, right? What he's going to say to his family members when they offer him food, right? Because they will, right? Because a lot of times our family knows us around food. For my client, he's going amongst his family who know him from birth. So they're gonna want to offer him everything that he used to eat when he was a child, right? But now it's a different season of life for him. So we had to come up with a plan. So when he goes there, all the work that he's been doing over the last 3 or 4 months hasn't been lost because we have a plan. Here's the thing: for you to be a success in life, you must have accountability, right? I think sometimes we don't have accountability. So we just go out and do what we want, right? We just go out and be who we want because we're grown adults and we spend our own money. We use our own time. But it's important that we have someone in our corner who knows where we are, who knows the journey that we're on, who knows the goals that we set for ourselves. Because I said a lot of times we set goals for ourselves, but don't tell anyone because no one's holding accountable. Let me tell you, accountability is the single biggest thing to let anyone achieve their goal. Accountability is the thing that is so important. And that's the benefit of like joining a program like my program. Why? Because I'm holding you accountable to ensure that you raise your standards to succeed in whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So that's step two. Having a support system, whether that would be a trusted friend, a coach, have a support system that will hold you accountable, that you can bounce ideas off, right? They can look at the situation not in the moment like you are and make a decision, help you make a decision. Sorry. So step three, the final one, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. Look, it's something that I'm learning, that it's okay for somebody to tell me no. And it's also okay for me to tell somebody no. I hear this quote years ago, many years ago, and I keep hearing it over. Every time I listen to somebody, they say the quote, and I'm thinking, I've been hearing this quote so much time. I need to apply it in my life. And the quote goes, me saying yes to everything means that you're saying no to yourself, your goals, and your future self. When you say everything, it means that saying yes to everything, it means that you're saying no to yourself, your goals, and your future self, right? And look, it's simply choosing to say no. You're just simply choosing to say no. You're not saying no because you don't love the person. You're not saying no because you don't appreciate them. You're saying no because, look, I'm on a path and this thing is not what I want, right? This thing is not part of my path. And look, I say sometimes people will be upset when you say no because people don't like to hear no, right? It's the word that we're scared of for some reason. We don't like to hear the word no, but it's okay, right? Look, the world is not going to end. So it's really understanding that when you say no, you're teaching people how you want to be treated. You're teaching people the new standards that you raise for yourself. A lot of times, one of the things I coach in my weight loss coaching program is people need to raise their standards. Because if you don't raise the standards, you're just going to keep going around doing the same thing. And people are going to offer you the same thing because you haven't raised your standards. So the idea is saying no is just simply saying, look, this is my standards. This is where I want to go. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen here. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. So we have come to the end of the first section. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So just a quick overview of what we've been through so far. Yeah, just a quick overview of what we have been through so far. So you could take a screenshot, you could take notes and just write them down and keep them with you. So we have gone through so far the guilt of not wanting to be rude or cause any disruption, right? That's the first one we went through. The second one is this is the only time I get to treat myself, right? And remember, your nutrition must be flexible. Your nutrition must be flexible. So you are actually having foods that you enjoy during the year. The next one is the belief that I can't lose weight during the holidays. This belief that, look, I can't lose weight during the holidays. And the next one is the fear of missing out. If I don't have the drink, if I don't have the cookie, if I don't have the ice cream, if I don't have the dessert, I can't enjoy myself. And then we expose some of the we explore some of the ways I want you to handle the holidays. So come January, you're not behind yet old and you're proud of how you deal with the holidays. The first one is have a plan. We must have a plan for what we are going to do, what we're going to say, what we're going to eat, what we're going to not eat, right? If that plan involves calling someone or calling the host of the dinner party and telling them, look, I'm on a diet, I'm trying to optimize my health, these are the things I want to have, these are the things I don't want to have. So it doesn't feel, you don't feel guilty or rude when you tell them, look, I don't want that, okay? Because remember, you get to decide. Your power is in your decision. Number two, have a support system that you can reach out to, a trusted friend, a coach that you can reach out to and support you, who knows the journey you're on, who can support you and hold you accountable for your own goals. And when I say hold you accountable, it doesn't mean with a big stick over your back, but hold you accountable for the goals that you are trying to achieve. And then the next one, the last one is it's okay to say no. Say no doesn't mean you don't love the person or you don't appreciate them or you don't value what they have done. You're saying no because you in the moment don't want to take this thing on board. You don't want to take this thing on board. And finally, here's a challenge for you. Take what you've learned today and implement it. Take action. I want you to decide what you will say yes to and what you will say no to. I want you to show up to the holidays feeling like with a plan, show up with the holidays with a plan so you know where you're going to go right, where you're going to go left. Are you going to speak to the people who are going to be pushing food in and asking you to drink the wine? Oh, you staying over there. Why are you being selfish? You must have a plan. And look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It will be challenging, but look, you get to decide. I want you to think about how you feel after the holidays. Remember, we talk about the missing out. What am I missing out on? But rather focus on the benefits. What are the benefits to go through the holiday with a plan and only eat certain things, not do no drinking, and feel much better for how you deal with the holidays come the start of January. I want you to decide on how you're going to talk to people who will push through you, like what I just said. How you will talk to these people in a way that's firm and positive and not being rude. I want you to focus on the benefits, the upside, again, from not partaking in the journey. I want you to remind yourself that the world won't end if I say no. If I say I don't want it, the world won't end, right? Because this stuff, this food that you eat won't make you feel good. It won't make you be optimal. It will leave you feeling guilty, and that's not what you want for yourself, right? I don't want you to leave dinner parties feeling like you've let yourself down, but more in control and proud of your decisions. I want you to teach your family and friends that this is the new path, right? Like I said to you before, I work with the clients who don't want no one to know that she's on a diet or she's trying to lose weight. And that's not a good thing, because when you go around your friends, they don't know. Your family, they don't know. And they're going to still think you are the person 3 or 4 months ago that used to eat all the cookie, who never planned. But it's important that you share these things with people. It's why I say you need to have a system, a community, trusted friends, advisors that will support you on your journey. Okay, so that's, let me just quickly share about my screen. Get back to, sorry. Okay, so now, if you're feeling excited about going through the holidays with what I've just shared with you, but you still have some questions about the process, I have got something special for you. Now, over the next minute or so, I'm going to go through an offer that I put together specifically for this program, for the people on this program. I only put this offer specifically for you guys on the program. Here's the offer: to book a consultation. It's that simple. One offer, book a consultation. Here's why. In a consultation, we will discover 4 things. And I think these 4 things over time, I think has been the catalyst a lot of times for people losing weight. A lot of times I have consultation with people and they don't sign, but they leave the consultation with knowing these 4 things, and they can go out and apply on their own. The first one, clarifying your why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to optimize your health? Because if you don't know why you want to do this thing, when times get hard, you will quit. Important to know the why. And even if you don't know what your why is, create one, because it's important. It's like it's a guiding light to where you're trying to go. Your overview, your past experience. Like we said before, I start the webinar. Forget about the past. The past is the past. We can't change the past, but what you can do, decide how the future will be. Decide how tomorrow will be. Decide how this holiday will be. Decide, clarify, overview your past experience, because a lot of times our past experience is the one that's blocking us, right? We have these things in the past and we're constantly using them to dictate how we react to the future. And then the next one is, what's the best solution to fix the problem? Because there is a solution, and not every solution will fix the problem that you have. It has to be one that's specific and tailored to your individual needs. And then the final one, guess what the final one is? Help you to make a clear decision. Like I said in the beginning of the webinar, your power is in your decision. Whether they are major or they are micro. These are the micro decisions or the major decisions that you make during the day, throughout your life. That's where your decision lies, in the power. So here's how you book a consultation. Yeah, so that's it. You can send me a direct message to ryanbrownc@gmail.com. You can click on the link, this link, ryanbrown.com/consultation to book a consultation. Or you can just head over to ryanbrown.com